Good evening, everybody. How's it going? We are getting set to do some salvaging tonight. Hope everybody's had a good Wednesday. Middle of your week's going well. Guys got back from a nice little workout. My audio coming through okay? Hey, Nightbot works. That's cool. What is it? I think the command is ! Angy face. Thought that was good to have for quick reference. Yeah, I know you haven't been on the Vulture in a minute, but I don't know. I've had a good run of like not murdering my own ships. So it has survived. All right, maybe it's not Angy face. It's a mystery that we'll solve later. But for now, it's just going to periodically remind people that I'm not angry. My face just looks this way. So, awesome. Well, I'm glad everybody's here. Yeah, exactly. I've heard it, when I worked at a bar, it was described as RDF. Yeah, hey, super whatever, thanks for being here. Glad you made it. How's your day going? Do I have an NVIDIA? No, I am Radeon. Team Red. All the way. I don't know why, I'm just very partisan about AMD. I'm not sure the 4090's worth it. Also, Captain Walrus, thanks for joining, I appreciate it. We are gonna go ahead and get started here. I've got some things ready to go. Let me switch over. Alright, we'll get Star Citizen to capture here. Anytime it wants to. There we go. Awesome. So, tonight we are going to do some salvaging. Nothing too crazy. Focusing mostly on solo salvaging or like 2 people, maybe 3 small crew. We're going to start with solo Vulture. Do a little bit of that, show everybody how the contracts work for it. And then we're going to do... Oh, hi Dog Sam. Hope you're doing good. Hope your leg boo-boo is better. Then we're going to go into duo salvaging. So either 2 people on a Vulture, or a Vulture plus a small cargo ship. And then we're going to do risky salvage missions, which are a good time, and sometimes involve getting shot by the police. Just a little bit. Space police. And those are neat, because you do not need to have a Vulture to do them, and currently, I think they are just about the most profitable thing you can do in Star Citizen. So if you are just joining in, thanks for being here. We are gonna get started doing some salvaging. The one thing that you absolutely need to have is a multi-tool before you get started. You can make one on the Vulture, but it's not really a good use of your resources. So just make sure you have a multi-tool. Always a good idea to take a couple med pins with you too, just in case there's a space oopsie and you get injured and need to heal yourself. Past that, you really don't need a gun, and just a flight suit and a helmet will be fine. I've got my neat armor, so I'm going to hold on to that. Sometimes this can take a while being out of the station, so good idea to bring a few drinks as well. So, no further ado, we're going to get the Vulture out and get started.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
I don't know why I have 2 Vultures right now, but one of them is prepped and ready to go. As far as fittings on the Vulture, There's not a whole lot to upgrade. I put a upgraded quantum drive in it, just so you can quantum a little bit faster. Other than that, the guns are size 1, so there's really no point to trying to improve those. They're going to be terrible no matter what you do, and this ship is not really agile enough for combat. So, if a player aggresses you in a vulture and you don't get away really quick, you're just going to die. So, best to accept that. Come in here through the rear. Talk to the ladder, see if it's going to be cooperative. You've got all the Drake amenities. You've got one bed, a very fashionable shoilet, or shower pooper, however you want to call it, and a cockpit, which actually has an external door leading directly to it. Super convenient. Also, go ahead and ignore the Ultimate Rev party icon that is popping up. There's a ghost on my ship. And we're just gonna pretend he's not there.
You are clear to launch.
So, in order to salvage, you need a wreck, and you either need a vulture or a reclaimer to do it with a ship. There is handheld salvaging, where you can salvage with a multi-tool. It is really not worth your time. Yeah, I know, we need to call a space exorcist. Or just destroy and reclaim the ship, but it's not hurting anything. The Reclaimer is a capital ship. It's super big, and it is not really efficient to operate solo, in addition to just being really slow to get around. So if you don't have 2 or 3 people, preferably at least 3, multiple times. Uh-oh, looks like I blipped out there for a second. Okay, I think we're back. You guys still see me? Alright. Thanks, Sue. So yeah, to start salvaging, we're gonna go into our contracts, go to General, the Salvage tab, and look for something kind of close to us. I happen to know we're in Arc Corp, so the Arc L1 and L2 Lagrange points are pretty close. So we are going to grab one of those. These are missions where you have to pay a fee to get access to them. And then basically you get the salvage and you make your money back on the back end. So we're going to grab that. I clicked accept, but the server is... Oh, big surprise. The servers are not being especially responsive tonight. Alright, it popped up. You kind of have to give it a minute. If you keep clicking on new missions, when they, hey, Caffeine Fiend, glad you're here. Lurk away. If you keep grabbing new salvage missions because they haven't shown up yet, and you don't really wait for it, weird things will happen, and you'll end up with like 500. It'll charge you for all. So avoid doing that. We're gonna be on our way to Arc L2. And like I said, I did upgrade the quantum drive in this. I didn't... A lot of people upgrade to the like top tier military quantum drive. I just went with the top tier civilian quantum drive because it's more fuel efficient. The military one, if you throw that on there, it's much faster. but this ship does not have the fuel tanks of like the Cutlass Black, and you'll have to stop to refuel sometimes if you're trying to go all the way across the system. And we don't have time for that. Nah, it's too fast. We run out of gas, then we get stranded, then we have to ask general chat to like come save us, and it's awkward. I actually did try to... I have a refueling ship, and I tried to help out a crew of guys in a reclaimer a few weeks ago. The reclaimer being the like super massive salvage ship, the capital ship. And so I took the Starfarer, which is the refueling ship, out. I didn't know how to use it, so I didn't actually like fill up any of the storage tanks with fuel. So then I got to them, realized I didn't have any fuel in the tanks, went to an outpost, put fuel in the tanks, came back to the guys who were stranded in the reclaimer, and then I found out that there's a horrible bug that affects reclaimers trying to get fuel from Starfarers that kicks in sometimes. And what it does is every time you try to, like, line up the refueling ship's dongle with the reclaimer's port, once you get close enough, the reclaimer just does a flip and, like, does a 180. And it can potentially kill you both. So, that was no good. And I felt bad. But I had to leave them. Like, sorry guys, you are beyond my aid. I think they eventually figured it out, though. They had a friend with a cargo ship come pick up all their salvage. Alright, so for the salvage contracts, the lawful ones, which is what we're starting out with, they're always going to be by Lagrange points, which are where the little, like, L1, L2 stations are. And they're going to be some distance away. They are generally outside of the armistice zones, so we could get attacked by a player here. You know, you kind of just want to keep your eyes open. Because if you get attacked by anybody who's not completely asleep at the wheel, you're going to die. Especially by yourself. It's not something I've had happen. We're gonna try to slow down well in advance and not just blow past this thing. The Vulture is not a giant ship. I mean, it's not much bigger than the Cutlass. It parks in the same hangars. But it is not agile at all. Yep, and there we go. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna try. So, you come up on it, on the salvage claim that you're given from the mission. Now, some of these ships, you know, we want to salvage and take off their hull. That's how we make money. But some of them have cargo on the insides. If you want to check if they have cargo, you can hit V, switch to scanning mode, and just hold and left click, give it a minute, because you can kind of see information coming up on the left, then it'll come up on the right, and if there was cargo inside, it would tell us. It does not look like this one has cargo. So then we're going to get close to it. You want to be careful, because these big long arms that come off the front of the Vulture are way in front of the cockpit, and it is really easy to get too close, accidentally bump into the ship you're about to salvage, and then it starts to move. And then everything goes downhill because you're like chasing it down with your salvage beams trying to salvage a moving ship. It's no good. To switch into salvage mode, we're going to hit M, Mike, And then we left click to salvage. Yes, exactly. Just accidentally Hulk hands the ship that you're trying to salvage, and it just turns into a disaster. Alright, once you're in salvage mode, you can right-click to switch between your two modules. It changes the diameter of the beam that you're salvaging. It can also change the efficiency. We are going to go with the abrade. It gives you a wider beam, a little bit... See here, it gives a little bit less speed, but I find it a bit more efficient. And then if we... So, like this, you know, we can left-click, and that starts scraping. And at this point, it's just like, you know, you fill in the lines like a coloring book. It's got hull, and you want to remove it. You could sell it and make money. One thing you can do is while you're pointed at the ship, you can hit G on your keyboard. That'll turn it into gimbal mode. From here, when I move the mouse around, instead of spinning the whole ship, it's just moving the salvage beams. A lot easier. So you kind of want to line yourself up where you can hit like either the top and one side or the bottom and one side of the ship. If it's a like smaller ship where you kind of hit all of it at once. This is so you don't have to reposition yourself frequently. Because every time you kind of have to wiggle around and hit different parts of the ship that you're salvaging, you're just wasting time. And we're trying to make fat stacks, so we don't want to waste time. Be as relatively efficient as possible. So, salvaging is... I don't know, I enjoy it a lot. It's kind of a chill Star Citizen activity. You know, it's if you saw the cargo running stream last Wednesday, it's similarly chill to cargo running. But the nice thing about it is you don't have to invest a bunch of your own money to buy cargo to get started. So if I were to get pirated right now, you know, I really don't lose anything of value because I didn't have any of the scrap before I came here. So it's pretty safe. We're not taking a big risk. Alright, and it looks like, so what we should have here, and I just noticed this, up at the top of the screen where it says filler station ready, this should be filling with cargo as I salvage, and it looks like it might not be. Interesting. So, we're going to try to fix that. You know, like a good person who works in tech, I am going to start by turning the ship off and back on again. Just Star Citizen things. I should have noticed that earlier. Is it plugged in? I don't think so. I think this is Drake manufacturing at its finest, and something is potentially wrong. But I have a backup plan. Oh, Lord have mercy. Take a look at the bottom. Unfortunately, they haven't implemented the hit it with a wrench until something starts working, which is, you know, unfortunate. Yeah, that should show, like, as we were salvaging, that should have been filling up. So this ship is busted. Officially broken. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm generally about 2 cautious. The name is kind of dumb, it's just old. Depending on what I'm doing, both. I picked it up, or I started using it when I was playing online poker. And I played if anybody's familiar with poker, I played a super tight aggressive strategy. So I just wouldn't play a lot of hands, and when I did play, I was just very pushy and, re-raised heavily. Which was not cautious, and so I used the name because it was kind of funny. It would make people in chat go like, "You're not being very cautious," and that amused me. Well, dang, the vulture is... I mean, walruses are cool, though. Alright, the vulture is busted, so we are going to go back and grab a different ship, and we're actually going to start on the risky salvage mission portion of this now, which does not require a vulture and is actually the better money as far as salvage missions go. We'll start out with the big bucks. So to do that, I'm gonna go grab my Cutlass Black. Yeah, where'd Captain Walrus come from? What may have inspired you to forever be known to the world as Captain Walrus? And was it a somewhat prescient move to put Captain in front of the name so that someday you could play Star Citizen, be a space captain? Okay, that's fair. They are adorable. Which reminds me, I haven't been to the zoo in a long time. I need to go. So yeah, I could have the other option to get quickly back to ArcCorp is, I could have self-destructed my ship, and I know, yeah, everything I've heard has been excellent. It's one of those things, it's like, it's a decent amount of money. Yes, zoo. It's a decent amount of money, but it's like well-reviewed as being totally worth the money. But like I was saying, with this ship being apparently busted, and I'm gonna switch out, I could have taken the Backspace Express and just self-destructed the ship, and then I would have respawned at Bygenie Point and not had to fly back. But like, then I'd have to put my armor back on, and I'd have to put my energy drinks back in my backpack, and it would just be a general pain. So I'm not gonna do it. And I'd lose my sweet Digicam rifle. So I'm gonna do this all the hard way. If you're just dropping in, we are doing some salvaging tonight. We started with the Drake Vulture, and my Drake Vulture is busted, so we are gonna skip right ahead to risky salvage missions. And I'm going to show y'all how to make a ton of money in Star Citizen pretty quick. Yeah, the lions are cool. Alright, so instead of parking my ship in a hangar, I'm actually going to park my ship outside. And I can't see anything. Because the sun is not in a happy place right now. There it is. I'm looking for these external pads. And if you didn't know about these, you can land here and go inside the station. Oh wait, these aren't the pads. These are the big hangars. Oh, did someone just target lock me? Yes, they did. Sir, please cease your shenanigans. He might think I have a bunch of valuable scrap.
Landing complete.
So we're gonna try to hop out real fast. Don't kill me, bro. Just flew all the way back to the station. Alright, sweet. Eat. So yeah, the Vulture also has that handy door in the front right into the cab. So we are going to leave the Vulture there. And head back inside. The ghost-infested Vulture is going to get claimed and thrown out.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
Because, you know, of course, while I was streaming it, it decides to have a bug that I haven't seen before. So, we're going to claim the Vulture. That will give us a totally new one. So I'm going to make that insurance claim, and then while we're waiting on that, so that we don't have to just sit around, we are just going to skip ahead and do risky salvage. So I'm going to get my Cutlass Black out. Should be in Hangar 3, I believe it said. There's the Cuddy. Probably my favorite ship. It's, not the best for PvP, but I don't really PvP a lot. It does pretty good DPS for NPC bounty missions. It's got cargo space. It's got a turret so you can bring a friend. Hey, Landfear Nightmare Moon, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate the follow very much.
You are clear to launch.
How's your night going so far? We are just getting ready to do some risky salvage missions. And hopefully not get shot by the space police. But it could happen. The night is young. Alright, so we're going to go back into our missions. And I'm actually going to abandon that mission that we were doing. Contract.
And please visit again.
And we are going to go... So to get the risky salvage missions... I know. Much dishonor upon me and my house. Alright, so we want to... Hey, Tipsy Twitcher. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. So we are going to grab a... We're going to go into the personal, go into salvage, and there's usually 2 available at any given time. We want the one that is at Yella, and is either a... Sorry, I grabbed that really quick because they expire quickly sometimes. But we want one that is either for a hammerhead. Awesome. Some of the guys from your Friday night stream, Rev. We want the one that's either the Starfarer, the Hammerhead, or the Drake Caterpillar. They are all 30,000 credits, and they actually come with a timer. And what's supposed to happen at the timer is the cops show up. So we want to go there first and rob the ship blind. And what's fun about these is, I guess they're kind of on the criminal side of the game. But they are... Basically, if the cops don't find you doing illegal shenanigans, then it doesn't really count as illegal. So you don't really have a strong risk of picking up a crime stat from this activity. So we're going to be on our way over there. The other nice thing about this, as opposed to flying the Vulture, is the Cutlass is not as much of a fat pig to fly, whereas the Vulture is pretty terrible for its size. It's just not nimble at all. So the timer says we've got 30 minutes. That's a thing, Caffeine Fiend? I did not know. Interesting. I've never really needed to. I mean, even like if I wanted to be way optimized, if you haven't done this before and you're like, I'm not sure how to do this, it makes sense to go to either Crusader or Hurston first, because those are the places that these missions spawn, and be like ready to go when you accept it. But I know that I can get there and take the cargo before the 30-minute timer is up. And when I've run into the cops on it, I don't know how intended the functionality is, but as long as I run away from them, they don't pursue me. No, this is... So the other thing we've done salvaging, what Sue's talking about, is insurance fraud. Where you just claim your own ships, and since I own a fair number of large ships, I fly them out, somebody else pilots the Vulture, and we just salvage my own ships and keep claiming them and keep salvaging. It's pretty good money, and it's easy. You don't have to pay anything to do it, but the risky salvage is better money. Because what we do is all the risky salvage missions, the ships, about, not all the time, but 80 to 90% of the time, they spawn with cargo on them. And the cargo is worth really good money. You end up making 90 to 100k per risky salvage mission that you do. So even though you pay 30k to get it, there's crates of drugs on the risky ships. So you just take the drugs and profit. We don't even try to salvage the hull with a Vulture or anything. It's more efficient to... free drugs. They're the best kind. It's more efficient to just take everything they have and then keep moving on. Oh yeah, in a crate. Yes. Bulk, if one were to go to Costco and buy their drugs there. So this is a bit of a haul to get over to Crusader. Straight from the source. It's a bit of a haul to get over to Crusader, but once you're in Crusader, you can just keep taking the missions in Crusader and you don't have to go this far again. It's only a long trip the first time. Yeah, I really wish... So there's what Caffeine Fiend is talking about. There's a series of missions, like first-person shooter missions you can take, where you go into bunkers and have to destroy the drugs. And they're horrible. Because they don't give you, like, you know, most games would give you, like, hey, here's 5 boxes of drugs to destroy. They give you, like, 600. And they're scattered all throughout this underground facility, and you have to find and destroy every last one of them. Yeah, I haven't actually tried selling them. I know it's possible. I think it's easier when Jumptown is happening, because, like, some of those bunkers are the same, like, the same drugs that Jumptown does. And you can just take them and turn them in. Right, and we're not interested in trash value drugs here. We're interested in the highest value efficiency drugs that we can get. Yeah, and drug running is the other thing. I really haven't done that much. I do a lot of cargo running with, like, my Caterpillar and my C2 and just bulk stuff, but I don't know. The salvage yards where you can sell the drugs always make me twitchy, because if you're gonna get ganked by other players, right? I know you've done it. Yeah, you've definitely done it more than me. But yeah, if you're gonna get ganked by other players, it's going to be, or there's a higher chance than usual at those salvage yards. Alright, so yeah, we're coming up on Crusader, and like you saw, I mean, we didn't even start traveling for a little bit after I took the mission, and we've still got 22 minutes left. It's totally fine. I really like these missions. I do expect that at some point SIG is going to probably nerf them or balance them a bit. You know, that maybe, like, decrease the timer, or make it so that the drugs aren't as reliable to find. Because right now it's like every time. 90% of the time you find the drugs. So I know that this is on the other side of the planet, so I'm going to navigate the other side of this moon. Navigate to this moon over here, drop out of quantum partway, and then a random. That would be, yeah, that's good. Once I get channel redeems, I want to do, I mean, definitely the Star Fox sound effect. Do a barrel roll. Like, that needs to happen. But random Star Citizen safety facts. I've got a whole list of ideas for channel points once I am deemed worthy of them by Twitch. Also, thanks for stopping by, Anvita. Good to see you. Alright, so I kind of went to that other moon so that I could navigate around the planet. You know, here's the thing. Caffeine Fiend. I'm going to get on a little soapbox here, Mr. Barrel Roll versus Aileron. And I'm going to say that to the casual Star Citizen player, that is essentially the clips versus magazines argument. Like, I know there's a difference. But everybody knows what I mean when I say barrel roll. Alright, so we're here. Well, maybe you just don't love the M1 enough. Alright. So now we're looking at... There it is. Took a minute for the quest objective or contract objective. I always call them quests because it's a video game. They're quests. But, like, this is sci-fi, so they're contracts. So, we are going to pull up to the Starfarer. So this, I was telling that story about the, yeah, it's okay. I have to, yeah, exactly. You can use stripper clips. When I was trying to refuel those guys who were in the Reclaimer who were stranded, it was with this ship. Like, not this particular ship, but this model of ship. So I know that the cargo bay is kind of off to my right-hand side, or starboard if you prefer, up kind of in the belly of this ship. So I am going to try to get right underneath it, and just like with salvaging the Vulture, you want to be real careful not to bump the ship that you're taking stuff off of. Trying to loot boxes off of a ship that is like tumbling away from you is a horrible experience. So I'm gonna check. Helmet is on. I'm gonna try to gently toss ourselves into space, and the game's gonna make us spin around a bunch. Fingers, who needs them? Alright, so we see a stack of boxes in there, and we are just going to start yoinking some boxes off. Sue is telling me that there's a little bit of buffering. Are you guys seeing that also? My internet might be a little off today. So the best way to load these on and off is to, oh dang, okay. We'll give it a minute, and then I'm gonna try to, like, pause something and... Oh, come on, Twitch. I am gonna finish grabbing these. Oh no. No, I don't think it's your fault, Rev, because, like, 7 people are telling me it is not. Being... Ooh, yeah, I'm seeing frame drops. 1 minute. Got it. Can't have that happening. So yeah, you know, we could come in with these risky salvage missions. There's nothing stopping you from taking a Vulture and scraping the hull. It's just not the best use of our time. Just gonna grab these boxes and go. Then I am going to pause here for a moment once I get away from this wreck. Sue, has it gotten any better? Oh no, you gotta update your router. Keep the Russians out. Okay, seems good now. And it looks like they're not slow frames. It's telling me it's frame drops, so it's my internet. Oh, fiber win. Okay, cool. So, I am going to go back into the back of the Cutlass and get these boxes settled in. Because I know I've got one of them. I know. And I'm not getting fiber where I am anytime soon, probably. So, as I do these risky... Oh, or I'm going to hit myself with a box a little bit. Calm your fiber privilege there, Caffeine Fiend. Alright. So I know that I'm going to be loading in from the right-hand side of the ship, so I'm going to move the boxes to the back and the left-hand side. Just so that I have an easy path. And now that we've taken... Yeah, I don't understand it either, but I check occasionally. Like, hey, any ISPs? Do you want to... And without naming names, the ISP that I don't use, their main competitor, whenever I go onto their website and put in my address, like, hey, got any fiber for a guy? They always... like, well, we don't have fiber, but we've got this great DSL that you can have. It's only $45 a month, and you'll get, like 15 down, 2 up. It's horrible. So I'm just going to grab another mission, and you can really just chain these together. Set my route. And yeah, that's exactly a Caffeine Fiend. The powers that be have decided that I can have cable, but that's it.
Quantum drive is now on.
And yeah, once you start doing these around Yella, your travel time gets super short. So we're going to pop on over to this caterpillar. AKA it is probably my, style-wise, my favorite cargo ship in the game right now, even though it is definitely not the best one. But it's got... The poor caterpillar is in a weird place, development-wise. It's supposed to have tons of features, like, you'll kind of see when I get to it. It's supposed to have, like, modular cargo bays, so you can, maybe swap out some of the cargo for, like, vehicle storage, or who knows what. They've suggested a few different things. Yeah, exactly. And it's supposed to have tractor beams also. Also, Ascenerev, welcome in. Good to see ya. We are doing some risky salvage missions tonight. Oh, I'm just going to blow past that. There we go. Boop. I'm upside down. I always get turned around with the caterpillar. Alright. And then we're going to turn so that my right-hand door is facing the same way. And jump out of my spaceship. Now, for whatever reason... the caterpillar seems to... Oh, son of a biscuit. I am upside down, but, whatever. We'll figure it out. Directions are relative in space, right? Come on, doors. Exactly. Like, there is no up. The only thing down is the enemy's gate. Really, it shouldn't matter it bothers me. But yeah, with these risky salvage missions, I don't know if it's like a bug with the drop tables or if I'm just cursed. I'm assuming that I'm cursed. But I tend to find cargo on the Caterpillars less than I do on the other ships. The problem with the... You're very cursed. You're a strong ghost, and you refuse to leave this plane of existence. The problem with these risky salvage missions is you pay 30k per salvage mission, and... Excuse me. Sometimes there's just a chance that you don't find anything. Which is a bummer. But no reason to really get discouraged too much, because you profit so much from the ones where you do find cargo, and you do find cargo on most of them. So, sometimes you don't find anything, and you just have to move on with your day. But yeah, Tipsy Twitcher, if you guys ever wanted to play some Star Citizen on a Friday night, or even, you know, not when you guys are streaming, I am... Wait, I just got back on the wrong ship. Lord have mercy. I'd be happy to play with you guys. And I'm actually looking to do a Wednesday night stream at some point with a player who's totally new to Star Citizen. Yep, and then I got onto my ship upside down. We're doing great. Been looking to do a stream with a player that's new to Star Citizen and kind of record the process of... Yeah, exactly, Wednesday night drug runs. Record the process of a person figuring stuff out for the first time. Because there's really not enough of that content. Or I think there's maybe a place for it. Alright, so that mission was a complete bust. And yeah, Super Whatever, it will be awesome when you get your computer running and we can do some spaceships. So we're just gonna abandon that mission and grab the next one. This one is a hammerhead. The hammerhead's nice. It's easy to pull up next to. Oh, awesome. Walrus got you ready to go. This is just like before, where we're just waiting on the server. I don't have a macro for my referral code, and I should probably put that in the About section, so I can get all those sweet referral code points. Alright, yeah, I should definitely at least have Nightbot shoot that out occasionally. Alright, maybe that mission didn't take. Nope. It's gone from this list. We'll just give it a minute. Oh, I know. Yeah, I know. I've got it sitting around somewhere. I'll find it and get it added. Sooner or later. So if it doesn't show up, I can grab the one in... Hurston, but I kind of want it to show up because I already paid for it. It would be upsetting. Never did. Alright, let's look again. There we go. Okay. See, it needed to know that I was serious about taking a different contract before it decided to show up for me. So we are going to set a course for it. It is real close.
Quantum drive is now on. Quantum drive is now off.
And so usually it gives you like an intermediate waypoint. You go here, and then, yeah, then it populates the big ship. So we're going to come in on this hammerhead, and these missions, you can chain them together pretty quickly. It only gets faster as you learn where all of the... I'll find it, Caffeine Fiend. It only gets faster as you learn where the cargo bays are. So we're gonna pull in here. Backside. Hop out and go see what they have. Ooh, nice exit. If you jump at the perfect time, it will let you enter 0G without spinning you around violently, but sometimes that's easier said than done. Also, if you're just stopping by, welcome. I appreciate you being here. Go ahead and drop a follow if you'd like. Every Wednesday, right now we're doing Star Citizen content that is exploring the different careers in Star Citizen to players that are new to the game or just starting to play. Saturdays we do generally crewed shenanigans. Crewed is in crew on a ship, although maybe sometimes also crewed like moderately obscene. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I appreciate you being here. Alright, so we're just going to get all of this inside. Now, you can take the, you can take the guns and the components off of these ships. And initially, when they introduced these salvaging missions and they made it so that the tractor beam could pull guns off of ships, they were very lucrative. And then they nerfed the heck out of it. It's also kind of inconvenient to deal with these crates. I don't know, I try not to be too crude on stream just because maybe some people don't like it, and also, I don't know, if you let it become a habit, then, like, the F-bomb becomes a verbal pause. Just like saying too much. But, yeah, they nerfed the heck out of weapons. It's, you know, long story longer. It's kind of pointless to take them. It's also really inconvenient to sell them because you can't, like, once they're in your ship, if you've taken them off of another ship, you cannot put them into your, like, station inventory easily. And so you've just got, like, these giant guns rattling around in the back. If they rattle wrong, they can, like, collide with the physics and blow up your ship. And We don't want that. Alright, we're going to take another caterpillar. Maybe this caterpillar will be better luck. So we'll do a few of these risky salvage missions. Maybe this might be the last one if it's got the good drugs on it. But with these missions, your risk is, basically that something will happen before you've sold the cargo. And so you can control the level of risk that you're exposed to by, basically choosing the number of missions that you do before you go sell the stuff that you got.
Quantum drive is now off.
Normally, I'll do about 5. If I'm really on a roll, I will do about 10 before I go sell. But if you have a smaller ship, like the Glorious Avenger Titan, which I think has enough SCU to do these missions, or the horribly OP Aurora MR, or Drake Cutter, you might just do 1 or 2. But even if you're doing 1 or 2, you're still making about 100k per. Whoop. That was unexpectedly close because we are on the... Alright, let's turn the headlights on. See if we can successfully put ourselves right way up. And we're going to pull up alongside it. Alright, given that the Drake logo is readable, I assume we're facing the right way up. Unless Drake occasionally puts the logos on upside down on caterpillars, which in-game would make some sense. Yeah, I mean, 10 SCU would be nice, but, if you're just starting out, you could honestly do these with some of the starters, or it would probably be really profitable, if I were starting and I just had, like, a Mustang or an Aurora MR. You could rent a Cutlass Black and absolutely cover the costs of the rental Cutty. Your quantum drive wouldn't be quite as fast, but you'd still make very good money. This method, doing the risky salvage, is how I... Oh my lord. Is this empty? The caterpillars are just unlucky, or something, or the drop tables are broken. There's just less drugs on these. Which is weird, because you would think that the caterpillars would have more drugs. They're Drake ships. They're the cheap everyman spaceship. Well, dang. Okay. Secret. It would be nice if they had a secret cargo bay, and honestly I could see that being one of the modular upgrades for a caterpillar, to like replace one of the living quarters with a like fake, or one of the cargo bay pods with like a fake living quarters that you could fill with drugs. So yeah, that's what it looks like. You can take the guns off the ships, you could sell them. They're really not worth it, so I'm just gonna... Goodbye. Return to your people. My favorite illegal salvage mission is probably the Hammerhead. It's just easy to get to, and the Hammerhead is so, like, it's a long, flat boy, so you can get into it easily. The Starfarer, it's easy to bump into the fuel tanks and make the ship start spinning, and then it's a pain in the tuchus. And the Caterpillar, like, I don't know that the drop tables are different, I just have, I think I might just have terrible luck with them. Which might be the universe just punishing me for being a Drake fanboy. I don't know. I haven't... Normally I do the bigger ships, because I think they have better cargo. Haven't tried much of the smaller risky salvage missions, but I should do them at some point for science. Alright. Goodbye, Caterpillar. You were disappointing. Alright, we're gonna abandon that mission just so it doesn't clutter our HUD. We are gonna go to Crew L4. I believe it is Crew L4 and Crew L5. Have the terminals that we want that will let us sell these drugs. Yeah, Asenarev, this is not the most blowing things up night, for sure. At some point, I'm going to do PvE bounty missions on a Wednesday and just kind of go through all the different tiers of bounties, and that is just all ship-to-ship combat, all things blowing up, and the higher tier ones you can do with torpedo ships, which are super fun explosions. Because you shoot a giant torpedo at a big subcapital ship and make a satisfying boom. That was Saturday, and most of them, you know, I like to... The Carrack was a team effort when we blew that up. It was a tragedy, but it was me being too used to flying with Empress, and, like, if I'm going to undock the ship, she's always, like, watching as I get into it and stops. Me not being clear, like, hey, bro, stop the ship before I pull out. But that was a weird explosion because we were undocking a Fury from a Carrack, and it killed the Carrack, but not the Fury. Which the math doesn't really math on that one, but well, you know, and yeah, maybe. But you did warn me. You were like, hey, I'm going to keep approaching, and I'm so used to Empress stopping when I'm doing it that I was just like, ba-ba-ba, no worries in the world. Pull the Fury out. And then it was, why am I spinning wildly? Why are things exploding? Why do I see so many little cargo boxes floating around? Yeah, it was still a good time. And then we, you know, instead of flying the Carrack, we just flew other multi-crew ships. Mostly because we didn't want to, wait 45 minutes for the Carrack. Do some testing on the cargo boxes getting dropped, or testing on the undocking, or testing on the Freelancer risky salvage. Oh, it might It might go better because you might not try to, like, brake if you're decoupled.
Quantum drive is now off.
Alright, so we are going... Crew L4 and Crew L5 both have special terminals in them that buy illegal things. So that is where we're going right now.
Quantum drive is now on.
Yeah, it might. It's worth trying. I'm down to try it. I'm just not going to load my Carrack with like a month and a half worth of armor and loot, which is my own fault. Like, you know, I've played EVE Online. Don't undock anything you're not willing to lose. So I gotta just take that licking and be happy with it, or at least be at peace with it, because shiz happens. So you do, when you're coming in after you've done the risky salvage missions, your ship is full of drugs. You do not want to dawdle outside of the station. You want to get your landing bay and get inside relatively quickly. Exactly. And that is what we were doing. We were looting drugs off of abandoned/destroyed ships. Let's turn the headlights off. Go. And we're gonna hop out, store the ship, and sell the cargo. I mean, some people think they're cool.
Welcome to
All
the
right,
ASOP
so we're gonna
vehicle
put the cutlass
retrieval
away.
system. Please visit us.
And then head down to the Galleria level. To find the secret terminal. Which is... take a left and go into this locker room. And where else would you put a secret drug buying terminal than a locker room? Like, it checks out. So each one of those ships that we found cargo in had 4 things. One of Maze, one of Widow, one Slam, and then they also have 1 Quantanium. We can sell all the drugs here. The Quant, we do have to go to one of the big cities and sell it there. Now, because... And then also on some of them you find bonus drugs. You find a crate of ETAM, which, like, it's still worth 10k per SCU. Well worth picking up. Because the Quant is only like 25% of what we're picking up, if you're running a lot of these, you can do some risky salvage missions, sell the drugs, do some risky salvage missions, sell the drugs, and then after a while, the Quantanium kind of builds up to the point where it's worth taking that and selling it. And pineapple on pizza is delicious, but I understand that some people don't have refined taste buds that can appreciate it, so there's no judgment for me if you don't like it. God, I could go for some Hawaiian pizza right now.
Welcome system to the ASOP vehicle retrieval system. Vehicle selected.
All right, let me grab this out. Savory with sweet just doesn't work. I mean, you know what? Not everything is for everybody, and that's okay. And I'm pretty okay with most pizzas, so... Like, I'm never mad that someone bought pizza and they don't have pineapple. Alright. We're gonna put that crate on the ground, because it just kind of stays in the last place where it was after you sell the stuff that was sitting under it. That freaks me out. And we are going to go get the vulture out and do some actual salvaging. Well, technically, everything we were doing was salvage missions, but you really just go in and... Oh, you're all good, super whatever. You really just go in and take the drugs and run. Alright, so we are going to head back home to my Genie Point. We'll see. That was a persistent ghost. Either way, it at least shouldn't be in the next vulture I claim, because that vulture I left on the exterior pad and just claimed a new one. Alright, and while I am on the way back to ArtCorp, we are going to take a quick 4 to 5.5 minute break. I'm going to grab a drink, and when I come back, Empress Azura is going to join us, and we're going to do some two-ship salvaging. Second. Alright, I'll see you guys in a minute.
Hello. Good. Wait. Okay. Sounds good. Okay. I am here.
Alrighty, and we are back. Sorry for the audio confusion. In my defense, I'm at most moderately competent and still figuring this out. So if you are just tuning in, we are doing some salvage missions in Star Citizen. Feel free to ask any questions you have. We just got done doing some risky salvage missions, picking up some drugs off of abandoned ships. And now we are going to do some regular, lawful salvage contracts.
Quantum drive is now on.
With 2 people.
Quantum drive
Makes it a little more efficient. Alright, Empress, are you at by Genie?
Of course, I'm ready.
Radical. Do you want to... Actually, I'm going to go to one of the hangar pads, have you hop out and grab the cutlass.
Just let me know what pad you land on.
Gotcha. So, one of the caveats to salvage missions, when you're using 2 ships, it can be really convenient to have a second ship. Because the Vulture has a pretty limited capacity. Its official capacity is 12 SCU, I believe. And if you really cram things in weirdly, you can fit more. Good boy. If you really cram things in, you can fit more than that, but it's awkward, and I'm always afraid it's going to blow my ship up. If you bring a second ship with the Vulture, you can unload... supposedly people have done like 30, and I think they're crazy, and I wouldn't want to do that. Alright, that pad's full. I'm not going to park next to the Haunted Vulture. We're going to go over here.
landing complete. Engines off.
Yeah, I don't know. They like, there's a weird science to cramming tons of stuff. I'm not sure what pad I'm on. I'm about to find out. Give me 1 second. Right, all the cramming. All right, we are on pad 01, Empress.
On the way.
Oh, hello.
Well, howdy.
Excuse me. So anyway, yeah, if you're using 2 ships, in order to easily sell the salvaged material off of the cargo ship that you take,
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieval
you
system.
do have to, like, the same person has to own both ships. I think they've been working on updating that, but it still gets weird.
Vehicle
It is
selected.
best if the same
Your vehicle
person,
has been
like the
delivered
person
to
who
the
owns the
location.
Vulture, should own the cargo ship.
Please visit us again.
Otherwise, what can happen is the game will view it as like stolen goods, and then you have to sell it for less money at a salvage yard, scrap yard, whatever they're called. And that is less money, but also dangerous. Because like Caffeine Fiend was talking about, you know, those are places people go when they're drug running. Like, people are there to steal stuff from you. I don't go there. If I can avoid it. But yeah, no, I feel you guys on the listening to your own recorded voice. It is like nails on a chalkboard to me. Oh, son of a biscuit. There's a bed in my ship. Like an extra bed that's not supposed to be there. Star Citizen. Alright, so I'm hoping it'll let me take off, and this bed won't clip through my geometry and explode.
You are clear to launch.
I'm gonna take off. Sometimes it works. I'll despawn your ship. Hold on, I'm just gonna take off gently and we'll see what happens. Watch this. Oh no, she won't take off. The bed has me... Is the ship... Oh, the ship's not on. Phantom! Thanks for coming in, I appreciate it. Glad to have you here. I mean, I have an actual... Oh yeah, that's wrong. Things are bad. I need to not... Yeah, exactly. No, it's stuck. I can tell. Come on. Alright, if you just want to take off with the Cutlass and hang out for a minute, I'm going to try and negotiate with the Vulture to get it to stop spawning weird objects inside of itself.
Best of luck to you.
Goofy game, like, works fine for a number of days, and then I get on stream and it's like, but have you considered strange bugs as an option?
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
Yeah, she did, but I've got my cool armor on, I've got my cool gun.
Please visit us again.
If I cannot die,
Welcome
that would
to
be
the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
optimal.
Vehicle selected. Your vehicle has
Well,
been
tonight
routed
we are
to
definitely doing more salvaging, but I can guarantee you whatever we end up doing Saturday night will be at least 42% more explosions. All right, come on. Right. Saturdays are for shenanigans. Wednesdays are for a tour through the broad array of careers existing in Star Citizen. Sweet. I don't think there's an extra bed on this ship. Just the one that it's supposed to come with.
You are clear to launch.
Alright, I am undocking now. Coming to you. Gotta watch out, there's a little bit of space debris right there. I don't want to get killed by the debris. Alright. So we are both out of the station. I've got a new Vulture. Because I filed an insurance claim. And Empress has the Cutlass Black. So now I'm going to look for a decent-sized ship not too far away. All right, this is way bigger than we need, but we are going to grab a hammerhead. I mean, you know, sometimes it is about the size of the ship when you're talking about salvage. All right, I shared that mission.
Got it.
Yeah, exactly. So, the way the progression works in the salvage missions, it does not always let you... doesn't let you do the... Actually, let me pull it up while we're in Quantum. You have to do the smaller salvage missions before you can do... So you've got to do, like, the Origin 325 or the 5,000 credit ones. Then it lets you go up to 20,000. Once you've done those, then it lets you go up to the 50,000 ones. It's not like grinding rep for like the bunker missions or the PvP space combat or PvE space combat missions. You really only have to do one. It's not too lengthy a process. And if you are just tuning in, thanks for being here. We are doing some salvage missions in Star Citizen. Feel free to say hi in chat. Let me know if you have any questions about the process we are undertaking. Right now we're doing missions with 2 ships, so I am flying a Vulture, and Empress is flying a Cutlass Black to take the cargo from me as I salvage. Alright, I'm at Arc L1.
Is now off.
And I am aligning to the salvage claim now.
Quantum drive is
Oh,
now
sorry, I think I may have cut you off while you were aligning.
That's okay.
You'll get there first anyway.
Quantum drive is now off.
Oh, good lord. It's 120 kilometers away. Oh, I think I can... I think the station might be closer if I want him to that.
Quantum drive is now
Alright, it's a little closer. Alright, so now I'm just going to slow boat over to the Hammerhead. I guess we'll at least be out of sight of any players hanging out by the station. And when you are, when you're... Because with the Vulture, I have a tendency to not slow down fast enough and potentially run into things, which would cause an explosion that some people like, but I am not trying to blow up excessively. So I kind of like to aim myself a little bit off to the side, so that if I do overshoot it, I just fly past it, yeah. So sorry, Asenarev. So if I do go past it, which I think I'm about to do, I just fly off to the side instead of flying it. Really hoping that the salvage beams are no longer bugged. That is the most efficient way to stop. It's kind of a hassle. The hammerhead is pretty easy to salvage. I enjoy it because it's just long and flat. I mean, yeah, but you're kind of calling me out here. It doesn't mean I'm good at flying. I mean, I do have a flight stick. Alright, let's see if the cargo starts going up this time. It is, alright. Alright, Empress, are you close?
I'm close. I didn't want to classically overshoot it by a bazillion, so I'm going slow.
Alright, take your time. I am parked. So yeah, now I'm just gonna turn on the salvage beams. You can hold left alt and scroll your mouse wheel to kind of spread them out from each other. Get more of the ship at one time. And we're just gonna start stripping the hull off of it. There is salvage is, like a lot of things in this game, in development. So right now it has the hull scraping. Eventually SIG is going to be adding hull, or like you can munch the frame. So once you scrape the hull off, there will be like a whole other part of the salvage process where you get the raw materials that the ship is made out of. That's just still being developed. The other thing in development right now for salvaging... This side of the hull is terrible. A lot here. The other thing in development for salvaging is illegal salvage missions where you have to go in and actually remove the paint from ships. No, they didn't promise that next patch was server meshing. They promised, or maybe they did at one point, but 4.0 is server meshing, so they could just go up to like 3.70. I mean, we're on 3.19 now. They could just keep doing 3-dot patches and, you know, never really get to server meshing. Although supposedly they are... Yeah, well, survey says those are, if not lies, overly enthusiastic development projections. No, they're supposed to be trying to like separate some layers on the back end first as like a preparatory step towards server meshing. Alright, so I'll go down and show you what this looks like. When it gets to 100%, and don't pull it out yet, Empress.
I won't. I'm just exiting into space.
So when your little bar gets up to 100, this thing right here poops out a box of salvage. Now, if you're by yourself, you have to come down after every other box, and what you'll do is you'll take the box, put it in your cargo grid, and then tell it to eject the next box. So it's a somewhat manual process. What we're doing here with 2 ships is, as this thing poops out the boxes, Empress is going to grab them and stow them on the Cutlass. Go ahead and grab it. It's all yours. So this makes things more efficient because, you know, there's a ship with more capacity that is taking the cargo. It also makes it a little easier for the pilot because you don't have to get up as much. Otherwise, every 2 SCU of scrap, you've got to get up and move around. Yeah, I don't think SIG would be a peaceful job at all, and from my understanding of the industry, game dev does not pay super well. It's, I think it's actually weirdly similar to, like, EMS, in terms of how they get people to work there. Like, they're looking for people who feel kind of called to have a, you know, special job and do a particular thing. Like, you know, paramedics really want to help people. And so they get shafted on pay. Game development just, I think, does the same thing. I think in most places, you know, if you do QA, you're going to make more money not in the games industry. Well, that's because you work with super cool people, Rev. When the little icon starts spinning and it says filler station ejecting, you want to stop salvaging for a moment, because whatever you get there is not going to count. Yeah, exactly. Like, I think there's a sweet spot in company size for a lot of jobs where it's big enough that they, you know, have the good benefits and good pay, and small enough that it's not horribly corporate. Yeah, exactly. Red tape is obnoxious. Alright, I'm getting kind of the left side of what I can reach here. I'll tell you before I move.
Yeah, just don't reverse. I'll be crushed.
Well, we wouldn't want to have an industrial workplace accident. Because she's right there, and she is in between the two ships. Your cape does look cool.
It's floating behind me.
Right, it's
Hell
very
yeah.
dramatic. Oh, there's no OSHA in space. We're basically belters from the Expanse, and we're just engaging in... I mean, we're flying 2 Drake ships. You can't get more belter than that unless they release some sort of option to customize your ship with extra duct tape. I think I've got most of what I can get here. I'm just going to slide to my left.
I will go move the cuddy.
I will slide less far than that.
Oh no.
See, and we successfully maneuvered the ships without crushing anyone.
I haven't moved yet, so let's not make promises quite yet.
Okay. Oh, that's fun. I haven't tried much Space Engineers since it was, like, super alpha, I think. But yeah, I'd be very open to a skin that was just... looked well loved. Like, you're the fourth owner of this particular Cutlass Black. But, you know, maybe if they did that for the Cuddy Black, they could say that one of the owners actually installed a toilet in it, because it nonsensically is one of the only ships that has multiple beds and 0 toilet. I don't know why details like that particularly bother me, but, like, it's the immersion. Now, it doesn't really make sense that they just expect you to poop out the side of the Cutlass. Like, the Vulture very clearly is meant to be a one-person ship, but it's got a perfectly nice shower toilet. Hey, there's no holes in the hull. At least not when it comes from the factory. No. No, it doesn't have... I think it did at one point, and they patched it out. It really kind of... They need to more efficiently use some space in the, like, crew area of the ship, where the gun racks and stuff like that are. And throw in, like, a food prep area and a shoilet. Yeah, I mean, like, a lot of RVs have shower toilets. I don't know. I think there's definitely a space in the Star Citizen online information available for a complete directory of the toilet situation on all 100+ vehicles that exist. And I think that if anyone's going to make it, it should probably be me. And, like, 1 to 5 star ranking, number of showers, number of toilets, are they shoilets? Because it's really a very diverse range from, like, the Drake Cutter, and I think the Drake Corsair also has a really grim-looking bathroom situation. Yes, absolutely. We should get a domain name and, like, Star Citizen Toilet Wiki. Hey, Holiday, how's it going? You know, I think that shoilets are a necessary design choice, but they definitely decrease the star rating. And the top star rating would be reserved for, I want to say, the Origin 600i. And, like, why do I remember this? But the Origin 600i, maybe all the toilets, but at least the, like, Captain's Suite has a separate toilet and shower, but the toilet does have a space bidet. It is, yeah, it's super nice out. It's been super humid here recently. During the day, it'll feel like it's not that hot. And there was a day I was working out, it was like only 85 or something. but it was just so humid that I was soaked. I was doing supine ring pull-ups, or as some people call them, Australian pull-ups, where you like put your feet on something and do pull-ups like that on rings or a bar. And every time I did a rep, my shirt was making, like, it was so stuck to my back that it was making this disgusting, like, schlop noise. It was a good time. I cannot confirm or deny the 890's a day situation. I think we're almost done with this area. Chris? Most of the time I'm on the 890, I'm doing the... Yeah, exactly. I'll take that under advisement, super whatever. Most of the time I'm doing the 890 jump is the boarding action mission, and so I'm not examining the toilets closely enough to... And maybe that's what I'll do Saturday. Just keep an exhaustive list of toilet situations as I run through various missions to begin compiling the ultimate Star Citizen bathroom wiki. No, I wouldn't pledge for an 890 with real money. Like, it's a fun thing, especially as they build stuff, if there's, like, a particular type of mission. Alright, I'm gonna move. Empress.
Okay.
Go forward. I think if there was, like, a patch and there's a particular mission type that you're like, this patch, I want to run 500 bunker missions. Then, like, buying an 890 in-game, there'd be a point to that, but buying it, especially now with the state of, like, what you can use the 890 for. Yeah, my Carrick's a loner. With, like, the 890 really is not the most effective ship for it. It's neat, but... And the Carrick... I think the Carrick's more useful than the 890 with the ground vehicle ramp. I mean, they both have spawning beds, but... Maybe just because I'm used to it, but I feel like I can get around the Carrick more easily. Ooh. Are you coming up behind me?
I'm very close.
Let me unstick it myself. So that little filler station obstructed that it just did is what happens if you pull out 2 boxes and you don't move them yet. So when that happens, whoa, that was very close. You were not lying.
Good. We're good.
So when that happens, you have to pull this one out of the, I don't know, exit chute, and then manually click eject. And take the second one out. And now we're ready to go. But, you know, if you are doing this solo, it forces you to get up and down a fair amount. Yeah, I like the luxury look, but that's why I like the 600i Explorer a lot. Because it's got that swanky luxury look, but it's a little more compact, I mean, a lot more compact than the 890. And I feel like it's got more of a role in the game, you know, as... as the game currently stands. Yeah, and they've said the 600i is getting a redesign. It's just... Unfortunately, I think marketing and the need to pay 1,000+ developers at this point. SIG acquired their former web developer that ended up doing a lot of like engine and I think netcode work and other work. They're above 1,000 employees, so I think it's hard for them to say, hey, let's go back and redesign this ship that a bunch of people already bought to make it more compliant with current standards. Also, if you're just dropping by, we are doing salvage missions in Star Citizen tonight. Currently, we're doing salvage missions with 2 ships. Feel free to ask if you have any questions. Yeah, exactly. I probably would too, because with the redesign, well, I think your opinion matters more than most. Because, you know, in this case, it's the right opinion. With the redesign, they are adding a medical bed. So it's going to be like, a little baby Carrack. It'll have space for a ground vehicle, space for a medical bed. Yeah, the ship showdown is happening right now. I'm kind of curious where it goes. I hope that it's something unusual, or like that hasn't won before, or won multiple times before. Just for some variety. And I love the Carrack, but I want to say it's won like 2 or 3 times, or gotten in the top 4 where they get skins. So it would be nice to see. I mean, you probably shouldn't send in a redesign request for optional bidets on all ships, because that would take at least 2 years of development. As they, you know, like rework how pipes work in the game to accommodate the new tech. Although there's been like off and on, and this was really, the devs talked about it more in like earlier times when everything was very nebulous and up in the air, and I think, you know, when there was just the hangar module, and like what their dreams were when they developed the game further. They had talked about having like a hygiene score, where if you don't use bathrooms and like shower, you might have more negative reactions from NPCs. Which is so excessive. I mean, kind of cool, but no one really needs that. I mean, in that case, it would, yeah, it would be a weird simulationist thing that they added that would be... Never played a Sims game, but yeah, where it would be something where if your hygiene is bad, certain things will happen that wouldn't happen to you if your, like, hygiene points were higher. I mean, yeah, modular ships would be... That'll never happen. Like, full modularity. Although I think Starfield might have some stuff like that. Almost done with this left-hand side. Alright, Empress, are you good if I slide to the right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm stopped. So yeah, what she's gonna do now... And you kind of want to be careful positioning yourself, because you want to move the vulture as little as possible so that you're not wiggling around all the time. But yeah, now she's gonna pull in all smooth-like behind me.
Oh, yeah.
And it does work best if, like, the floor of the interior of the Cutlass is a little above the floor of the interior of the Vulture. Because then as things come out of the exit chute, the person in the Cutlass can just grab them. You know, if you position it just right, they don't have to get out of the Cutlass.
Perfect. That's exactly where I'm at, too.
Nice. Now, to their credit, they have gotten better about hyping that they're like 1 year away, 2 years away. Which, you know, doesn't mean that they're the most efficient developers in the world, but I appreciate that they're at least not giving us expected release dates that, or doing it less, giving us dates that don't happen. Hey, thanks for coming by, Super Whatever. I really appreciate it. You have a great evening. Hopefully by the next time you're here, we'll be most of the way done with the Star Citizen Toilet Wiki, and we can share that with the world. So yeah, salvaging is not the most thrilling gameplay, which is really why I love it. It's kind of soothing to just, like, draw the little beams and make the stuff go away. Take it easy, Rev. I will talk to you later, sir. And I appreciate that they, you know, they have the salvaging that is just this level of chill. And it's a bit of a contrast with the other, you know, big industrial piece that has special ships for it, which is the mining. Because with mining, you've got a little more variety and the opportunity to blow yourself up. And, you know, either damage the ship or unalive yourself by making bad choices. With salvaging, for the most part, the worst thing you're going to do is be less efficient than you could be. Ooh, did we check this hammerhead to see if it had cargo?
No, I can do that now.
Yeah, you want to do that?
Whee!
There she goes. The butt is off to your right.
It says there's a collar up here I could...
Yeah, but then you gotta go
Oh,
through the whole ship.
snap.
If you just go to the bottom of
I
the
wanna
ship,
get lost.
if you just go...
Is this
if-
the bottom? Down here?
Yeah, the bottom is the pointy side, or the back is the pointy side, and the bottom is the side that has the gun on it. The rear the rear facing turret.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you get on the ship, then yeah, she is a loot goblin. Like, she's just like, I'm out. I'm looking for loot.
The sparkle.
Like, we are consistently producing loot by the literal crate right now that can be sold and is worth money. But the prospect of bonus surprise loot is just
So much better.
yeah, so much better when you don't know what you're gonna get and it feels more stolen.
Well, how do I get into this ship?
There's a
On top? Because does not want me to press any buttons back here.
I'm coming out.
Yep.
Detour, side quest. Ooh, that was a nice exit. Coming down right here. There's an interactable part where you call the elevator.
Doesn't want me to interact with anything over here.
I'll push the button.
Okay.
Bloop. Well, that was a whole big nothing burger. Zero loots.
That day.
I know. I'm sorry. We'll do some risky salvage the next time we play, and you can steal all the loot.
That's all it is. Just loot.
Yep. All right, and if you're just dropping in, we are running some salvage missions with the Drake Vulture, with a second ship, the Cutlass Black, offloading the cargo. On Wednesday nights, we do kind of an informative, open to questions stream, showcasing the different careers in Star Citizen. So, welcome. Feel free to hit follow. We'll be doing more of this, just different careers and activities every Wednesday. On Saturdays, we tend to do a little bit more of a party game and get into space shenanigans. Oh, great. Now you've told her about
I
investigation
was
missions.
unaware. Oh my gosh. You know I'll be looking into that now.
Yeah, now you've stolen my turret gunner, Caffeine Fiend. She will just be getting lost on investigation missions. Alright, I'm almost done with this section. How are we looking on? We're good on space?
Yeah. About only halfway filled, so you can
Nice.
shoot out to
I'm gonna
die of dehydration.
slide a little bit. Yeah, I'm getting kind of thirsty too. Get this last tail portion. all that delicious salvage.
Oh, snap. You moved. I knew that.
What's that, what?
You moved. I knew that.
Just a little bit. Alright, and we are... I think we're relatively good over here. We could scour it a little bit more, but... I think we can call that decent. Want to trade ships with me?
Sure.
So at this point, we are going to swap ships. Ooh, that was a perfect dismount. She is going to take the Vulture, and I'm going to take the Cutlass Black. Since the Vulture is mine, the game looks at all of the crates as being owned by me, so she cannot sell them in cities. I have to go sell it. Hopefully that gets fixed soon. I know that they're currently working on like ship permissions, so I'm thinking that might be a part of it.
Your systems are online.
All right, and we are going to head back to Area 18. That is the closest place where we could sell all of this cargo. And if you remember, we do still have cargo from the drug missions as well. We've got that, or from the risky salvage missions. So we'll be selling the Quantanium and also all of the scrap that we pulled off. As soon as the game lets me plot a quantum course. There we go. Reset that. The map can be a little bit difficult sometimes.
Mine is being real funky.
And by a little bit, I mean horrible. But that's just Star Citizen things. Alright, I'm going to abandon the Hammerhead mission, so that way it's not cluttering up my UI. There we go. Now it looks like it's cooperating. Son of a gun. Mine is being super weird.
It disappeared my route.
Yep,
Come on.
so did mine, and then it did like a weird flashing thing. Hold on, let me set my route first. Maybe because we're in a party, or oh, is it letting you take off now?
I doubt it, but we'll see. Yes.
Clap if you believe in the map. Yeah, I see you going further away now.
Quantum drive.
All right, and now we're on our way back to Area 18. The dog is being needy. Say hi to everyone on Chat Bunker.
My bunker's nose.
It's a very mediocre co-pilot. All right, we are back to ArcCorp. We're gonna head to Area 18 and sell this salvage. If you are just joining in, we are running some salvage missions tonight in Star Citizen. We were doing risky salvage missions before, and we just salvaged a hammerhead using a Cutlass Black and a Vulture. So I'm taking the Cutlass Black back to Area 18 to sell some of that loot.
Quantum drive is now off.
Now we play my favorite minigame in Star Citizen, find the spaceport underneath the clouds.
You want me to get your vehicle impounded at Bajini?
Go for it. It's got like 40% RM, like 40% filled up, so you may as well get it impounded so that I don't lose that. So because both of these ships were owned by me, she is going to go ahead and just sit in the Vulture outside of a hangar bay until the spaceport traffic police get angry and impound her ship. The ship she's flying, which is my ship. Because the functionality does not quite exist yet for her to land and store my ship. Eventually, I think they want to have that because they want to have a whole system for like loaning people ships. But I don't see that coming out until way closer to release because if you could just loan people all the ships they wanted, they wouldn't buy ships. Sounds cynical, but also that's how they're financing game development. So I don't know. Too mad about it. Yeah, exactly. Organizations are supposed to be able to share ships, which is like just going to be amazing. Because you can share like ships and outposts that you'll be able to build on planets. I'm super excited for it.
Landing gear down.
All right, we're going to let the auto land do its thing.
Landing complete.
And then always turn the engines off before you get out, because sometimes your ship will float away. So yeah, these two crates are the Quantanium we got while doing the risky salvage, and then these are all the scrap. Oof. Cutlass got a little dinged up somewhere.
What?
That's okay. Sometimes that happens just coming into atmosphere. It takes like cosmetic damage. Which I kind of get wear over time, but that's real rough.
That is, I fixed it and refilled it before I took off the landing pad.
Well, I appreciate that. You're clearly a responsible person. Should be trusted to loan ships to in the future.
To the ASOC vehicle retrieval system.
At all times. Their job is your safety.
Alright, now we're going to head to the TDD and sell all this stuff.
For the latest
No, I didn't run into anything with the cutlass. It's just that weird... I don't think I did. It's that weird, like, when you go into atmosphere. What did you do? I
ran through some asteroids on my way in.
I mean, Empress is an ace pilot who would never run into anything.
These are all lies.
She's literally never collided with anything once, which is very unique for anyone playing Star Citizen, but somebody out there's got to be that good. Sweet, and I showed up at the perfectly worst time to get on the tram. Clearly just left. We're just gonna hang out here for a minute and wait for it.
Tram now approaching.
We can admire my sweet gear while we wait. There it is.
Tram now approaching. Tram now leaving the station.
But I really appreciate everybody coming out to hang out with us tonight and see some salvaging. I know it's not the most dramatic content in Star Citizen, but it's a fun little gameplay loop. I think it'll be cool. Right now, the Vulture is not available for sale with in-game currency, but that should change in the next patch or so. It's a nice little ship to start making money with. This upcoming Saturday, we will be doing something involving shenanigans. I don't know what it'll be yet, but I can promise more explosions, a bit more chaos. We'll be starting at 8:30. Yeah, definitely. And with, like, I already have the Vulture and whatnot, so if we wanted to grind up for a Vulture with a Vulture, we'll have that option. But yeah, Saturday, more explosions. Will be starting around 8:30 p.m. Probably going a bit later than we will tonight. And then next Wednesday, we'll be doing something else informative. Don't quite have the topic picked out yet, because, you know, I don't really have a lot of things in my life planned out that far in advance. But if anybody's got things that they want to see, or want to potentially take part in for a little instructional stream, I would love to take some suggestions, either here or in Discord, which should be, yep, it's linked by our friend Nightlot, who is working tonight. He was set up last stream, but was not working. And by that I mean I thought I set him up, but hadn't really done it properly. Guys? Alright, and that will be the end of the stream. We're going to go ahead and sell this. I think after fees, we made about 80-some thousand on the Hammerhead. And then we've got another 50,000. That we, yeah, thanks, Phantom. I appreciate you coming by. Then we've got another 50,000 from the Quantanium that we had taken off the Risky Salvage. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and call that a night. I appreciate everybody being here, and we will be back on Saturday for some space shenanigans. So Everybody take good care of yourselves. And I will talk to y'all later. See ya.